The Stag and the Addax Grimoire, by Chris of Tophet. For this is the return of Saturn, a grimoire, or the cremation of care, in terms of what needs to be said, that the message from the Almighty was not to be worshipped, but is a spiritual compass, which is also my personal grimoire, for we are all already gods, but the enigma to be understood is how we can take the sacred 5 dots, and redraw for example the sigil of Lucifer to fit the conformity of God, to make it good. This is the law of the land, that the 5-dot revelation is the way of God. There are also 4 or 6 series of dots for paganism, whether Nordic, or Tao. I believe whatever religion is in the 5-dot algorithm is a tribe of Israel, which does not include the cross. When we fold our 2 exterior fingers over and overlap our middle fingers we get a Hamsa, which I believe the hand of Baphomet disrespects. Pure rebellion of the traditional Hamsa of us united. I refer to this as the Addax, and the Stag is about the message, or messenger. So when Christ fulfills his mission, there will be no more hell or heaven, and we will return home. I went to a psychic just after and she said Isaiah 9 was about 2 people and not just Jesus. She said Jesus was not the Messiah and I had a very prophetic book idea. But she said not all the sigils in my book were good, it would appeal to everyone. My 5-dot revelation I had as an Iranian sigil from my grimoire would mean if the dots were prints, the spider would be a logical if not the only animal insect to be able to recreate the sigil, referring to the Anaphena accentuata, which has 5 legs, is a marvelous creature. Table of contents. I. 306 Houston Road S. 2. Background. 3. The algorithm. 3 fingers to form a 3, an index and a thumb to form a 0, and an index, thumb and middle finger to form a 6. That's the address where I grew up, not in exact terms, but where I had this revelation about the heavens. My revelation in particular showed some of the most groundbreaking material since Mr. Crowley's work. Little did Alistair know, the number of man isn't 666, it's 306, for 66. The year was 2022. I had a fixation after a previous hospitalization with a pentagram, which goes by the names Tetragrammaton and the Witch's Foot etc. Then it hit me, what if I could redraw the pentagram differently with the same array of dots? I tried it and was successful. My spiritual awakening not only gave me this divine revelation, it also gave me feasible evidence of something greater than us. I am happy to say that I am the humble person of tribute to these upcoming sigils, and they were once again founded in the United States, more specifically New York. Long Island to be exact. I might not have grown up there, but I lived there. I had this revelation year 2021. It was during the spring, and I had a vision of a little girl with a dog and the sky got really bright to me. I was seeing things of my schizophrenia diagnosis at the time, so I decided to talk the delusions through. At the time I had no awareness of a mother maiden or crone. I wasn't talking to her when I was wearing my pentagram chain. But as she slipped away from my thoughts, I had an idea to draw the pentagram differently, which I will get to. But I was able to draw some new geometry I would like to share with the readers as well as the message behind it. I think if we viewed these sigils as symbolic landmarks, we would find ourselves depending on where we desire to be, not hoping to be there someday. This is a Hebrew sigil I came up with that I believe justifies their claims for Jewish people building the pyramids, as it resembles the pyramid chambers. It means Am, which is Hebrew for faith, as well as the smaller pyramid meaning us in Hebrew. The U might symbolize some sort of spacecraft under the pyramid, like the prophecy of Thoth stated in chapter 3. I hope the readers understand my inclination is to not associate this sacred geometry with worship. For the foundation of these shapes, the first sigil if the circle, Avery protective shape to govern other sigils. This sigil is the circle casted by a notorious witch to create reality. I believe a female witch drew a circle to create the world to praise the false god. When I first saw this, I realized, it's not a bunch of sigils even, it's a story. I believe she casted that circle with salt according to this story. The next sigil I would typically cover is the infinity sign, or double quetra, but it's more like a 4-dot theory, and is associated with the number 2. Bring gilded silver, or gold as a peace offering to gain entry into the promised land, which will be sacrificed, resembling the golden Lamb of God and the sin of silver, where you will see the mother maiden and crone. This is their triquetra, which fits the 5-dot revelation. This is my double triquetra. I don't think associating or assigning a meaning to this is necessary. I think what's important is just knowing it exists, and will exist forever. From the pentagram, to my favorite variation of the hexagram, to the sigil for the 5 core sigils of Orion's belt at the bottom of the page. My variation of the homeland I believe lies somewhere in the Orion's belt. Right below the pentagram you will see that there is an earth with water there, along with 2 undefined sigils, for a place we will someday call home. I'm approving right now that the hexagram is 2 sigils essentially, which, when separated, can go on forever. The wizardry of the pentagram is ancient, which I believe could be associated with ancient Judea practices that were discontinued by the Pharisees. But one explanation of the Kabbalah's alignment is 2 pentagrams, or 1 pentagram and its shadow self, which is definitely a reflection of our alter egos and personalities. The top left sigil is for the Greek goddess Psyche and the Musca Borealis, or better yet a guardian angel, which I believe takes the shape of a butterfly to little children. The top right sigil is of the jade plant, which is commonly found in Asia and has many healing properties, along with my version of the swastika, the Ankh. The bottom right is my opposition for Leviathan, with the mystery sigil being a musical note I believe. Study break. Between the horseshoe and the trident of Hades and the pitchfork of Poseidon, past my undefined sigils we have a common understanding of what my 5. Revelation means. It means nothing in life is meant to hope or wait for. Anyone could have figured it out. I just happened to literally connect the dots. Inspired by ancient Catholicism, this demonology has been revised and somewhat validated by my 5. Revelation, which descended from Iran. I feel like ancient Babylon was not of this world and had a big influence on this book. More specifically, the ancient brothers Moloch and Bagal. I also included Paimon, who is referred to as the good demon in Satan's legion. Mind you, I don't promote Satan or the demiurge of this house we are in, only the whole truth in the form of facts. My version renewal of the 12 horoscopes, which in a mass planetary embarkment, horoscopes would be definitively planetary. I don't believe in lunar cycles or horoscopes assigned at birth. I think if we're from Earth we are associated with Gaia. Along with the sigil for Cancer, which I believe comes from heaven. This is an asterisk, which can be used for axioms. It's just my theory, but the shape of the asterisk acts as logical conjunction and disjunction. Q. How much money would I be accumulate over the course of the year without knowing my salary at a $2 raise? Simply put, 1 year is 365 days, times 2 is $730. For a more complicated version, 2 1 equals 190, due to the fact that it's uncommon for me to get a raise on a consistent basis. So 190.02 equals 3.8. 190 goes into 3,820% of the time. The probability of the raise, 3,800/730 equals 5.2, or 52 weeks in a year. So my answer is $730. For proofing I would say 365, 19/2 is 3,657.5, or a perfect year including leap year. Why do I say this now? I say it because it's a more intricate world when it comes to studies, represented by my vertical 5. Revelation, explains the mystery and supremacy of heaven, along with other shapes I didn't include that appeared to look like a tooth and another like a mushroom, but I'll let the readers decide. When we combine a group of dots to equal 10, what I like to call 21st century reality, I believe they're Greek. So life I have come to see is very segregated. The Shiro, for Christ the Conqueror, his victory over death. I believe the Christ is the name of God, but a last name. Along the lines of family, familiar and famous. I believe the PY Christ we are waiting for has a big family. With a series of 20 overlapping dots, we get another popular sigil, the Celtic knot. On that note I will conclude with some definitions. Meander, winding river. Theta, degree or angle. Swastika, good fortune. Awen, inspiration. Anarchy, absence of government. Asterisk, to stand for omitted matter. Psyche, mind. Enia, 9. Ankh, life. Othila, homeland or promised land. The end. For every circle was a line.